Recording in progress.
Report 2024. We are here today for the community briefing for updates on the Hurricane Helene response in Buncombe County. I'm Stacy Wood, the Public Information Officer with Buncombe County Government. And today I'm joined by County Manager Avril Pender. I'm joined by Duke Energy, Bill Norton is on the call. And also we're joined by our response and recovery partner, Rich DePrima with the New York Fire Department. And his name is spelled Rich, R-I-C-H, DePrima, D-E-P-R-I-M-A. And we'll get started with remarks from County Manager Pender.
Thanks, David. We have additional food and water going out through a points of distribution in the county from noon until 4 p.m. Please bring containers to fill with you. These locations are William Estes Elementary School, 275 Overlook Road. This location is also for non-potable water. Sandhill Elementary, 154 Sandhill Road in Asheville. North Windy Ridge Intermediate School, 20 Dawn Road in Weaverville. Fairview Elementary School, 1355 Charlotte Highway in Fairview. Black Mountain Ingalls, 550 NC9 in Black Mountain. Cane Creek Middle School, 570 Lower Brush Creek Road, and that's in Fletcher. Again, that is 570 Lower Brush Creek Road. Leicester Elementary School, 31 Gilbert Road in Leicester. In the city of Asheville.
Folks are having some audio issues on the back end of this. Would you mind restarting?
Sure.
Folks get that important information at the beginning.
Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Let me repeat the locations where you can access water today. Remember to bring your containers with you. William Estes Elementary School, 275 Overlook Road. This location also has non-potable water. Sandhill Elementary School, 154 Sandhill Road in Asheville. North Windy Ridge Intermediate School, 20 Dawn Road in Weaverville. Fairview Elementary School, 1355 Charlotte Highway in Fairview. Black Mountain Ingalls, 550 NC9 in Black Mountain. Cane Creek Middle School, 570 Lower Brush Creek Road in Fletcher, and Leicester Elementary School at 31 Gilbert Road in Leicester. In the city of Asheville, locations are open until 7 p.m. and they are located at Asheville Middle School, 211 South French Broad Avenue, Linwood Crump Shiloh Community Center, 121 Shiloh Road in Asheville, Pat Square Park, 70 Court Plaza. That begins at 1 p.m. and it goes on till dark. And lastly, Lucy Herron Elementary School at 98 Sulphur Springs Road. This site will be open from 9 until 7. Buncombe County has established a storm damage report survey for damages sustained during Hurricane Helene. If you or a family member sustained property damage from the storm, please submit this information as soon as possible. Call 828-250-6100. Again, that number is 828-250-6100. Remember, this is different from the FEMA application process. This is for us in the county to get a handle on what's in our county and the damages that we need to be aware of. Our fire marshal has also asked us to share this information. If you are without power, please turn off your breakers until it is restored. If you're going to burn storm debris, ensure that it is 15 feet or more away from structures and only burn 3-foot piles. Finally, please do not travel into a small community unless you live there. It is delaying emergency response and rescue and relief efforts. Next, we'll hear from our New York Fire Department Chief DePree.
Hello, good morning, everyone. First, I want to say that New York City Fire Department Incident Management Team is honored and privileged to be here to help the people of North Carolina and Buncombe County. We have a lot of friends and family in the area, so again, this is a very important mission for us. We arrived in Buncombe County yesterday with an all hazards type 1 incident management team of 34 people. We will be shadowing the staff in the EOC today and blending in and assuming some roles by Saturday. We are here to help and support, and we are here to get the process going to help the people of Buncombe County. Thank you.
And next we have Bill Norton with Duke Energy on the call.
Hi, Stacey. Want to be sure you can hear me properly?
We can hear you, Bill.
Great. So first, I want to thank all of our customers for their patience. This has been an incredibly long week for our customers, for our partners in Buncombe County and throughout the state, and our crew of 21,000 line workers, vegetation crews, and more across the Carolinas work in this storm. The teamwork shown by everyone has really been amazing. The good news is our crews have repaired more than 1.2 million power outages here in North Carolina. That success elsewhere in the state allows us to bring even more crews into Western North Carolina to address the hardest hit areas here. About 170,000 customers in the North Carolina mountain region remain without power, unfortunately, including 78,000 here in Buncombe County alone as of 10 o'clock today. Last night, we texted out new estimated times of restoration to our customers. We're on track to restore an additional 27,000 customers by tonight, another 69,000 in the hardest hit areas by Sunday evening. In the areas where catastrophic damage exists, where you have homes that physically cannot receive power, grid infrastructure washed away, roads gone, lack of access for our crews. 105,000 customers are without power in those types of areas. So we're working very closely with the state on plans to address these as quickly as we possibly can. We continue to work with a variety of partners to get critical assets like our vehicles, workers, poles, transformers, wire, and more to the areas where we are restoring power for our customers. And we know partnerships and collaboration with local, state, and federal agencies are absolutely critical in this regard. And they'll continue to be as we collaborate with these communities to help them rebuild. We continue to communicate with our customers via email, text, and outbound call as their site-specific details become available. Customers can also visit dukeenergyupdates.com for the latest updates on their outage. And I think I'd close just by saying our thoughts with the communities that are still without power and other essential services. We're committed to continuing safe restoration until everyone's power is restored. Again, thank you for your patience. We will not stop until your power is back on.
That update, Bill. Before we open the briefing up to questions from the media, a quick reminder for the community. Again, that call center number is 828-250-6100. And you can call that number 24/7. And so please share that number with your friends and neighbors. If you have storm damage reports, need resources, and more, that is the number that you can call here at Buncombe. At this point, we will open the briefing up to questions from the media.
Hi, this is Jeff Cameron with the Charlotte Observer. I have a question about any updates regarding mobile distribution, particularly to public housing. We've heard from people in Pisgah View, Deaver View, and Hillcrest about issues with transportation and not being able to get to water. Do you know if there's anything in the works to help get water to those areas and other public housing units?
As we reported on the last briefing, we have been planning on that, and that is rolling out today throughout our community. Previously, our community paramedics have been taking water throughout our public housing areas, specifically the ones you listed. So yes, our community paramedics have been distributing water to them. And now we are working with some they're reaching out and taking water as well. That is one of our nonprofits that is starting working today, to get into other areas of our community. But please remember, community paramedics have been on the ground since this began, taking water over housing authority areas.
It's Laura Lee at Blue Ridge Public Radio. I have a couple of questions for Bill Norton, if we could. So I just want to make sure I understand the numbers, because it sounded like at one point the communication to the public was majority of households and business. What? I can't hear you, breaking up. What?
You're breaking up, Laura. We can't hear you. Can you type your question into the chat?
Sure.
This is John Boyle with Asheville Watchdog. Hey, Bill, you've got a couple of my questions already. Maybe we can save a little time. Could you talk a little bit about, I know everyone can see power lines are down. Is there a bigger problem with larger equipment, transmission lines and substations? Can you talk about that in Buncombe County and then in a larger sense, please?
Yeah, that is it exactly. I mean, if you talk about a typical hurricane, I mean, and there's nothing typical about a hurricane, but a normal hurricane, we would have fully restored the transmission infrastructure by now, and we'd be in neighborhoods doing the hand-to-hand fighting, if you will, with individual streets, homes, whatnot. This has been a storm like we've never experienced in our history. And if you think about people talking about the 1916 flood and this surpassing that, you can understand why. So I was at one of our substations yesterday and again this morning. It's the one that serves Biltmore Village. And if you go out and look at it, the water line is almost to the top of that substation. You can see the water line there. It's amazing. That substation alone is going to take 3 to 4 months to repair. Obviously, we are not going to keep those customers out for 3 to 4 months. So what we did is we wheeled in a 200,000 pound mobile substation from Garner, North Carolina. And I talked earlier about partnerships, and again, that was key. We had to work with DOT to make sure that the bridges that we needed to pass to get to that site could withstand that weight after the storm damage. So it was a slow, meticulous process to get it here, but it is now there. We are we're digging new spots for wiring, so it'll be underground and safe. Hooking that hooking that substation up in the coming days. It is expected to be powered by Sunday. So that will effectively allow us to bypass that substation for the next 3 to 4 months as we level it and build it again on higher ground or with a flood wall around it. Those customers will have power even as we're rebuilding that substation. So that's the type of challenge that we're dealing with, and the type of solution that we're bringing to the table.
Bill, do you know how many substations are damaged and how many transmission lines?
Let me double check. I think I have a statistic on that. Looking back, okay, yeah. So I don't have highly localized information. I can say 95% of our substations across North Carolina have been restored, but that's statewide. Obviously, we have more impact here, just in the Buncombe County area and the mountain region.
Hey, it's Laura. Can I try again? Can you all hear me now? Great. So I just want to make sure I have the numbers right. We have 170,000 in the mountain without power and 78,000 in Buncombe County.
Correct.
So we're restoring 27,000 tonight to Buncombe.
27,000 in the mountain region.
In the region, not in Buncombe. Okay. And 69,000 more across the region by Sunday. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
Leaving
that
us
brings
with about
us
105,000 that are 105,000 that are going to be more long term, and we don't have a specific date for that 105,000 yet. That will be communicated to customers as we get better information from areas we haven't even been able to put eyes on yet. We brought in helicopter, drones. We've seen most areas, but really to be able to get physically to them and see the intricacies of a given site, that's going to take some more time.
Sure, that makes sense. Just trying to, help people with expectations of those 105,000 that are longer term than Sunday. Do you have estimates on even ballpark percentages on that? How much of that is Buncombe and how much of that are some of these places you talked about that are so difficult to access?
I don't have a breakdown further beyond that. I'd say some of those customers will come on next week, but some of them will be longer. I mean, we're talking about places where the homes no longer exist, frankly. Obviously, we're not going to power that back up. If you think about all the roadways we've seen washed away, think about where power lines are normally located. There are easements along those roadways. Those easements are gone. We no longer have an easement to erect a new pole in place of the old pole. That's the type of scale of damage that we are dealing with and working through.
Question?
Yes, this is Will Atwater at North Carolina Health News. I had a question about non-potable water. Yesterday I know that we were trying to get non-potable water out to 10 distribution sites across the county, if I'm not mistaken. So my question is, in terms of people who are on septic systems, is there a special consideration or procedure that needs to happen, or can they just use non-potable water to flush toilets just like people who are on regular municipal systems?
Thanks for the question. Well, those individuals can use non-potable water to flush their toilets.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, but so in other words, being on the septic situation is not, it doesn't present any additional problems.
Right.
Okay.
Next question. Are there any questions?
Yes, my name is Ryan Hafner. I'm a citizen journalist and a member of the East-West Asheville Neighborhood Association. There was a murder outside the Pisgah View Apartments yesterday, and as of the end of the day, the killer had not been apprehended. Do you have any updates on that?
That's a law enforcement matter, and I would refer you to APD or Sheriff's Office for that information. Sheriff's Office. To help you find more information about that, the status of that situation.
So you have no information on this briefing on whether the killer is still in the neighborhood or local area?
This is a community briefing that we are using to provide residents and people who've been impacted by Hurricane Helene. We are using this opportunity to provide important updates specific to this storm. Next question.
Yeah, Charles Perez at WLOS. Every day I have the privilege of folks coming up to me and they ask me about water. You know, they acknowledge you guys are doing a great job and putting a lot of time and effort in and making a difference, a big difference. But they also want to know when their kid can go back to school. And they want to know that their elderly parent has access to a hospital that has water. And the fear is, or the concern is, that this is a looming public health situation, if not crisis. Now, 3 days ago, the mayor texted me after this morning briefing and offered the opportunity to speak with the chief water official for the city. That hasn't happened yet. And people out there, at least those who speak to me, they just want to know. And a lot of them think they deserve to know what's happening now in terms of fixing the water situation, what is planned or likely to happen next week, the week after, and potentially the week after that, simply so that they can plan. What do I tell them?
Absolutely, Charles, and we agree. That's why we're here to provide updates to our community on the current situation with the water. And that's why we have the city of Asheville joining us for these briefings routinely. And they will be with us at 4 p.m. today. And I will let you ask them that question directly.
Okay. The one thing I would ask is, because that is the end of the week, that they
Charles,
answer.
to address your question about Mission Hospital, HCA will be here with us at the 4 p.m. briefing as well.
Okay. I will look forward to that. Thank you.
Hola, Jessica Mayora de Enlace Latino NC. Haré la pregunta en español. Esta pregunta es para FEMA. Si una persona o propietario de dos viviendas fue afectado por sus dos viviendas por el huracán, ¿esta ayuda será para las dos propiedades o solo para una?
This question is for FEMA. If a person is an owner of two homes that are affected by the hurricane, will aid be available for both properties or just one?
Not that information. Okay, I'm being told just the primary residence will qualify for aid from FEMA.
Gary Roberts, AP, can you hear me?
Así sea dueño de las dos, qué pena. Así sea propietario del.
Gary Robertson with the system.
Okay, so we are going to have our bilingual information communication specialist reach out to you directly to answer your question. Thank you. Next question.
This is Gary Robertson with Associated Press. Can you hear me?
Here, Gary.
Yes, thank you. And I'm sorry, apologize for stepping in there. I just wanted to double check the number of dead from this storm remains at 72. Maybe I missed that. Did you have any information on that?
We do not have an updated number of fatalities at this time.
Okay, so we'll stick with what you had late yesterday. Thank you.
We have another question in the chat about more questions about when public showers will be available and where.
We do not have any specific details or even a timeline for public showers, but I can assure you that based on what I know, we are working diligently here in the Emergency Operations Center to deploy those assets as soon as possible. And we will keep you updated when we're able to announce that information.
Can I have a follow-up with that? Yesterday you reported that there was one tanker providing non-potable water at, I think it was the William Estes Elementary School. Do you know as of this morning if there are more tankers out? I think the goal was to provide a total of 10 across the county.
We will provide an update on the number of tankers at the 4 p.m. meeting or briefing.
Okay.
Okay, Patricia, Enlace Latino and C. I have a following question about the showers. I know that the Reuters YMCA has public showers now. That is a effort with the county. Can you give some details about that? Details?
So your question is about showers being available at local YMCA's. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. What's that?
Reuters in Biltmore Park.
Reuters and Biltmore Park. The Reuters YMCA in Biltmore Park does have hot shower opportunity available to the community, to anyone that needs it. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So hot showers are available at the Reuter Y and Biltmore Square Park that is available from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I have an additional question from the chat from Helen Chickering of BPR. We've encouraged people with wells to have their water tested, but we need more information about resources on how to get that done and where we can take those testing kits.
Yes, thanks. Important question, Helen. We are working with our environmental health department right now to stand up teams of folks who can triage these kinds of requests. We're also going to be working through the EOC to request support from EPA and others who are experts in the space. And we will start providing information on well safety as soon as possible. As soon as I get back to the office, we'll go ahead and provide that information at buncombeready.org. And we will continue to provide updates on those resources that we have available for well testing as soon as we are made aware of that information.
Stacy, this is John Boyle again with Asheville Watchdog. Follow up probably for Ms. Pender. Two things related to burning. Had people ask like what can be burned safely and what materials should not be burned, debris wise. And then people are still asking for another update about when trash will be picked up. Could y'all address that?
So county manager did mention in her talking points, if you are going to burn storm debris, make sure that it is 15 or more feet away from any structures and only burn 3-foot piles. But we can also ask the fire marshal to come to one of these briefings, or I think William has information that can be helpful to you in this moment, John.
Yeah, thanks for those two good questions. With regard to burning debris, anything natural, if it is not a naturally occurring material, please do not burn that. If it's rubber, if it's fabric, that textile, please do not burn them. If it's branches, if it's wood, those can be burned. They can be burned 15 feet away from any structure, and please only burn them in 3-foot piles. Do not use large piles to burn all at once. With regard to your second question, Waste Pro is making rounds in the Weaverville area today for those Friday customers. Those Friday customers who we can get to with those big Waste Pro trucks. We have asked for smaller trucks to come in. They're trying to get to every road that they can access. That is in the Weaverville area today. We also have a truck set up at the North Buncombe Pool, and that is a location where those Friday Waste Pro customers can take household trash only to that Waste Pro truck for it to be taken to the landfill. Landfill is open today, and landfill will be open 8 to 1 tomorrow. We will have Dane Peterson with our solid waste operations on our Sunday evening briefing to give us a look at the Waste Pro operations for next week.
And thank you, Lily. Not to get in the weeds too much on the burning, on the some people have pieces of their houses or like old sheds, things that are kind of like processed wood, or sometimes pressure treated wood that might have chemicals. Would pressure treated wood or processed woods be a no-no for burning?
Yeah, if it has any chemical treatment to it, please do not burn it. If you're in the weeds, you can burn weeds because that's naturally occurring, but don't burn anything that has any sort of chemical in it.
Thank you.
Can you remind the public of the hours for the North Buncombe pool site for trash collection? Or, I'm sorry, trash drop off?
Those hours, and we will follow up in this briefing with those drop off hours. Next question.
Hi, this is Andy Rose with CNN. The sheriff mentioned yesterday over 200 people still unaccounted for. I know there've been a couple of urban search and rescue teams in the area, and obviously the volunteers for the Register of Deeds. Is there a point at which the task forces start to deploy out, or you start to lose some of those resources, and the search and rescue process begins to wind down?
I'll start, and maybe Chief DePrima can help me answer that question, Andy. From my understanding, they have deployments maybe of 14 days, and then they would rotate and another crew would come. So until we're done and we're working on the grid search, I believe, with the USAR team, FDNY would also start working through the county as well to make sure that we have eyes on everyone. So as far as I understand, it would be no winding down until we finish that search and rescue. Chief DePrima can add anything else to that.
Yeah, that is accurate. Typically, resources can be assigned to us for up to 14 days. We will replace and rotate resources that's fit. Right now, we're developing a plan to reach out to the local communities. It's basically a door knocking mission to reach out to see what people need and how we can help them. And that should be taking effect the next day or two.
It's Laura at BPR. I have a couple questions about drinking water. People are asking, are there any use of the pools at local hotels? Is that a possibility? And then the second question that we're getting is about laundry. Are there any plans for laundry facilities or mechanisms for people to get their laundry done?
Okay, so since we arrived here, we're starting to plan to build we call it community reception centers. People call them disaster reception centers. There are pods out there. We're looking to put together CRCs, community reception centers out there, where people can come and take showers to laundry and receive some of these products in addition to the point of distribution. That should be in the plan to take effect.
We also have a question in the chat asking about using the French Broad River as a source of that non-potable water. Is there a reason we haven't tapped into that resource, and could you speak to that?
French Broad River, the Swananoa River, all of these rivers in our area should be treated as basically a hazmat site. Please do not touch the water or get near the water if you do not have to. There are other resources. We will make other resources available to you, and if that is your circumstance, please call the One Buncombe Call Center. Again, that number is 828-250-6100. We cannot stress enough that all of this water flowing through our community right now should be treated as if it is a hazardous material. Next question. Okay, not hearing.
This is Ryan Havner from East West Asheville. We've heard updates from the county, but not frequent updates from the city on these calls. With many residents still lacking power, cell, and internet access, this broadcast via FM radio is the only source they have for official information on this event. People are listening right now, sitting in their driveways in their cars or huddled in groups with their neighbors. This is a full-time emergency for City of Asheville residents. Do you feel like part-time participation in these briefings from the city is the correct level of communication? Have you requested that they join on a twice daily basis?
And County Manager Pender can add to this if she feels that it's necessary. And thank you for that. We understand and we appreciate the valuable partnership and role that our local media are playing in this. We've seen folks huddled listening to these briefings at the end of their driveway. We've seen the cardboard signs hanging up around the community, briefing at 4 p.m. We've seen this out in the field, and we know that this is an important lifeline. And so that's why we are working as a county to bring these partners, these municipalities that are within our jurisdiction together to provide important updates to these impacted communities. And so the city is going to be with us at 4 p.m. today. They are continuing to partner with us during these briefings and are on call as needed to provide information at the 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. briefings. Manager, would you like to add anything?
I think that is very appropriate and accurate, and they're with us every afternoon at 4 p.m. briefing. So please don't take it that they're not engaged. They are absolutely engaged. They're excellent partners with us, and they're working just as hard. They have a lot on their plate as well, especially as you mentioned with the water system, and they're hard at work. So they're being pulled away, and we're coming with us every afternoon at 4 o'clock, coming across town to make sure they can get that word out to you. But they're absolutely engaged. So don't think that they're being part-time or anything like that. They're 100% in this fight with us.
May I please ask how Buncombe County officials feel about the FEMA response on the ground? I know it's a really charged experience. Everybody in town is feelings are running high, and y'all are almost a week into this. And some locals feel one way, and I know y'all have been working so hard as officials. Can we just ask how the county officials are feeling about the FEMA response on the ground? Has it been satisfactory, or do we feel anything is lacking? How are y'all feeling?
We're feeling pretty good. At the beginning, the first 72 hours, it was hard to get any help in here, but they are here on the ground with us. I was told today we have over 1,000 responders coming in from across this country helping us. So right now we have all the resources. I wouldn't say all, we have lots of resources. I don't know what else I'll need. But as we're going through this, they are here with us. They're absolutely on the ground. From as far as icing people from Nebraska, from Alabama, they're all over now, and they're here. Of course, it was hard to get here with the winds and couldn't fly into our county. But you're here now, and that's what we're looking forward and moving forward with them as partners.
Ma'am, this is Ryan Havner again. If this has been addressed before, feel free to direct me to a previous briefing, but I'm hearing a lot of questions from parents, and we've had updates from county and city school districts, but not much related to childcare for families with younger children. Parents in our community have been informed that updated guidance for reopening daycare centers with temporary bathroom and water resources is still pending. When should local childcare centers expect to receive the updated guidance? And is approval for this emergency guidance required from the state, or is the county the approving authority?
Okay. By state rules, I would reach out to our childcare team and see where we have the guidance, and if we can get some information out to how that would need to be. So I'll work and get into answers to you.
Sorry, the audio went out a little bit on the community reception centers from the gentleman from New York. Was the end of that those will be set up in the next day or two? Sorry, I just couldn't hear it.
Yeah, so right now we're identifying locations that are convenient for the residents. It will take, like I said, about a day or two to get this fully up and operational. Once we do, we'll release the locations every hour through these briefings and social media.
Are there any additional questions we can answer?
Will MSD be a part of the afternoon briefing?
MSD is not going to be a part of the afternoon briefing, but we are in close communication with them, and we'll look to bring them into one of these briefings sometime soon.
Okay.
They're operable though, so we're happy, but we're also happy to reach out to them to see if they would like to provide an update to that effect.
Okay.
Is unmuted. Is there an additional question?
Yes, thank you for entertaining these questions from the community. This is Ryan Havner again. I want to return to public housing and gray water assistance for the most vulnerable citizens in the county. Yesterday, I interviewed a community volunteer who assisted with the effort you referred to deliver gray water to the 162-unit Aston Park development. They encountered widespread defecation in public areas, as well as residents who had continued to overload their toilets in their homes. For families in the midst of these conditions, do you have contracts or timeline in place to provide porta potties and mobile hand wash facilities and services to improve sanitation?
Yeah, hopefully I can answer that question. These community reception centers that we're looking to establish, we're going to start off with 2, and with the support from the county and our cooperating agencies, we'll try to establish more than that. Just so people are aware, like an event like this, there's like a time limit. You guys are still in that initial response phase. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3+ weeks to start to really get a handle around everything to get the support that the communities need. So when we get to this, there's a lot of work done and a lot of good work that's been done, and things will continue to get better. Believe us when we say it takes time, and we hear what you're saying, and we take that back to redevelop our support in the community, and each every day we'll get better. It's a team effort between us and the community. So we're here to help, and we'll get better.
And to be a finer point, we typically do not get contracts that go into apartments or individual homes to help clean those homes. What Chief DePrima is talking about would be those community centers where, whether it's close to our water distribution sites or other sites, that's where we would typically look to set up these community receptions areas where people can get showering, do laundry, but it would not be going into individual homes. Our goal here would be to try to get more potable water, non-potable water, or gray water, as you call it, more frequently and more sustained in our community, that we can get those residents to get that water and help clean their toilets. But there would not be a contract that the county would enter into. So I just want to make sure that expectation is not something that we do. So we would get a contract to help clean apartment buildings or clean individual homes. We would provide that water. Hopefully their family members or some nonprofit members or other volunteers can help them provide that water to them to help clean their home.
All right, so this will conclude the 10 a.m. briefing. Thanks to everyone on the call, and thank you for your partnership in helping to spread this information widely across our community. As a reminder, the One Buncombe call center number is 828-250-6100. And the 4 p.m. briefing will include updates from the city of Asheville, Mission HCA, and the VA hospital. Thank you for joining us, and be safe.